I was a year into my finance job in central London, and I was chatting to a colleague about university days, and it was fresh in my memory because I just graduated that year, but it seemed fresh in his also. Like he was all excited, bright-eyed, reliving the days. So I just asked him, "How old are you?" Just wanted to know when he graduated. He says 31, and he must have seen maybe some shock or confusion in my face because his expression also saddened slightly. He looked down and then just muttered the cliche, well, feels like yesterday. But it wasn't yesterday, it was 10 years, a whole decade. And then something stuck with me in that moment because what this guy was saying without saying it was he put his head down for a minute, and when he looked up again, a whole decade had passed. That scared the hell out of me. And I made a promise to myself that day that I won't live a life that just vanishes when I'm not paying attention to it, because that's not a life, that's just time passing. And now, years later, I look back and I realize something. University finished 7 years ago for me, but it feels like 20. Because since then, I've lived all over the country, I've pursued a career in finance, I've traveled the world, I've job hopped, I've taken breaks, I've nearly died a few times, story for another day. And in doing all of that, I found something. I found a way to slow down time. Not literally, but it feels like it, and that's all that matters. Because your brain doesn't measure time in minutes, it measures it in moments. Just like how this random interaction with a colleague has stuck in my memory 7 years later. It's because it became a learning lesson for me, which is why I remember it. So before we get into how to slow time down, let's talk about the opposite. How to make it speed up to the point where a decade can feel like a few days. It's from what I call Groundhog Day living. It's where you live in the same place, with the same people, doing the same routines, having the same thoughts, and every day just blends into the next. Your brain doesn't register it because it doesn't need to. It's not being fed anything new. There's nothing new to process. There's no story to save. Think of it as a video game where you've completed the first mission, it's saved, but all you do is just play that same mission again and again. You're not adding to the story, you're just replaying the same thing. So your days disappear, then your months, then your years, and then suddenly you're that colleague who's looking sad, saying, well, it feels like yesterday. So, how do you slow down time? Time feels slow when the brain is awake, and the way to wake it up is exposure to newness. New environments, new people, new work, new risks, new ideas. Your brain pays attention again. It creates memories, it processes experiences, it stretches time. That's why your childhood felt slow, because you were seeing everything for the first time, you were processing everything. And it's why, as an adult, everything feels so fast, because nothing's changing. Everything just starts to look the same. So if you want to slow down time, change what your brain sees. Give it something to remember. So what can you do to start from today? Well, you don't need to sell everything and move across the world, but you can make some small intentional changes, like taking a different route to work, try a new skill or hobby, have a real conversation with someone outside of your immediate circle, spend time in a place that feels unfamiliar. Big or small, newness rewires your brain. There's evidence behind this, by the way. Look into neuroplasticity. It's not just a concept I've made up. And when your brain wakes up, so does your sense of time. Now, I'll make a note. If you genuinely want stability, if you enjoy the routine, day in, day out, the same thing, maybe it allows you to fulfill other needs in your life, then that's perfectly fine also. This video is not for you. It's for the people who would live like that and then one day look back in regret. The ones who wish they took more risks or saw more of the world, broke out of the routine. The ones who had the opportunity to do so but then didn't. So let me leave you with a final thought. Two people can live for 80 years, but one of them can feel every day of it, and the other can blink and wonder where it all went. Time doesn't just pass, it's either lived or lost. So don't let the next 10 years feel like yesterday. Slow it down, live it fully, let your brain remember it. You've only got one of these.